I'd talked to Rebecca on the phone initially and trying to find out a little bit more of what she was doing, because I'd done through, some massage therapy before, and just to try and get an idea of what techniques she was using. And basically, we're looking at something a little bit different, trying to figure out how to deal with I have dystonia, and for those that don't know, it's basically involuntary muscle spasms. And it just depends on how it affects the body sometimes. Sometimes it's head and neck or stomach, legs, feet. And she thought, well, maybe we could take and do something and see how it works. And when I come into the actual office that day doing some just filling in a few other questions with some of the medical, she thought that she could probably do pretty well. She actually had to help me fill out part of the initial question work, paperwork, because I was having problems with my eyes spasming, and it was getting to be concerning because it'd been going on off and on for the last couple of days, where basically my right eye was pretty much shut. I couldn't do much just because of the spasms. But we got into the therapy session and started out working the neck muscles and the shoulders, and working on loosening part of that up. In that part, she also had worked like there's pressure points up and around the eye, and worked those pretty good by doing the pressure and using some cupping technique. And surprisingly, that was working pretty good. But then I threw a curveball at her when my legs had started spasming and foot basically started to turn up in the side on itself, and she ended up having to move to that point to try and get that settled down before we could finish up doing some of the other. Very wonderful job stopping that, because when everything starts spasming, I don't know how long it's going to last. Sometimes it's a half an hour, sometimes longer, and moves from body point to body point. So like we started trying to work out the leg muscles on the feet on one side, and then all of a sudden, hey, here it is over on the other leg. So she had to adapt to that. We got that settled down, then we were able to go back and finish out working on the neck and shoulders, getting up into the jaw lines, the temple, and working, like say, along the eyebrows, just up underneath on those pressure points. And basically, after we had gotten done, she'd ask how things went, with therapy that we did. And I says, well, knowing what I've dealt with in the past, it's good. It was very good. And especially the part of, that she was able to take and get enough manipulation, cupping, pressure point techniques, that when we were done, I was actually, the eyes was not spazzing out, spasming up on me like they were before. So we could tell right offhand, part of that initial therapy session that we did, it did have very positive results in the fact of my vision was quite a bit better, because obviously I could open my eyes a little bit, and when we were done afterwards, just in talking, we could feel it kind of correcting itself a little bit. So, like I say, it was really surprising that it did work. Not saying that it was bad, it was good actually, because I just don't know how some of the things were going to turn out. I'm willing to try different things. And with the variety of techniques that she had available and what she's had to work with, I know I'm not an easy individual to work with when some of that gets going. I've worn out a few people along the way when they've helped try and straighten out, get the muscles to relax. And for that, you know, it was kind of a little different, I think maybe a little bit of a different challenge for her, because we were trying to see what would work and what wouldn't for us. And I can honestly say she did a very good job. I was impressed. And like I say, after going through the session and working it out the way we did, I could tell very well that we did a lot. And like anything, it takes time to work on things. Sometimes you'll respond right away, sometimes it takes a little bit. But I just know from my experience from the past, she did a very good job, and I was impressed. And the other techniques she has at her disposal really did a good job for me. I was able to look at things a little bit differently and know, okay, this is a technique she used. Let's try this if I'm, you know, having problems. I can kind of work some of those points just by knowing what she did to help massage it out. And basically, I know here it is July, coming up for the time that I need another appointment to try and keep some kind of rotation for consistency. So I'm excited looking at seeing what else she can do for me. I'm sure that others will find the techniques that she used very rewarding. I was impressed.